All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Welcome to the Sunnyside City Council regular meeting for today, September 22, 2025. For the record, we are missing two members of council, though everybody else is present. Councilor Vasquez has asked and received an excuse for tonight. And then Deputy Mayor Galvan informed me today that he's feeling quite ill. And if there's no objection from council, we'd like to excuse him as well.
No objection.
None.
All right, Deputy Mayor is excused. And then all members of staff who are expected to be here appear to be here. So thank you, everyone. First item on the agenda is the agenda approval. Council, I have a couple of changes I'd like to make to the agenda. The first one is a change in the order of events for tonight. If you look at your agenda, items H, I, and J are all budget items, and our finance administrator is not present in person. She's on the Zoom call, and in order to have mercy on our staff, we would like to move that to right after item B. So right after we get done with the discussion on Fairview Heights, then we'll go and take care of those items. And then
After number 7, Mr. Mayor, after number 7 or after B, claim vouchers?
it would be in the active agenda, right after item B. We will move items H, I, and J.
Oh, I see.
And then we'll jump over to C after that. And then the other thing that I would like to remove is the executive session for this evening. And the reason for that is it pertains to the city manager. City council has one employee. And I think it behooves us to have all of us present when we are discussing anything that relates to our one employee. And since we are down 2 members tonight, I think that, and I'm seeing heads nodding, so we're in approval of that. Okay, so the executive session for tonight is removed. Council, I do want to clarify, though, that this will require a special meeting because our interim city manager's contract expires on September 30. That's next week, Tuesday. So we will have to have a special meeting at the very latest on next week, Monday. So be aware of that. All right. So do we have a motion on this?
So move.
Okay.
Second?
All right, so we have a motion from Councilor Hart, second by Councilor Hancock to approve the agenda as modified. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Councilor Hart.
Yes.
Councilor Fausto.
Yes.
Councilor Hancock.
Yes.
Councilor Ripley. And I too vote yes. Motion passes. All right, do we have somebody here this evening for the invocation? All right, ask that you please come forward. Audience, and please ask that all of us please stand for the invocation and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to meet together today and discuss what we have for the city. Please bless all the members and council leaders that we will get everything sorted out and that we can do whatever it takes to make Sunnyside a better place. And we thank the Lord for gathering all of us together. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. I do want to mention that person who led our invocation this evening is one of our high school students, and thank you for that. I know it takes a fair amount of courage to come before an official body and do that, plus members of the public, and so thank you for your willingness to do that.
Yeah, thank you. That was very nice, young man.
Next item of business is our public comments, and we have no one signed up for public comments this evening, and so we will move forward with the consent agenda. I don't see anybody racing to the microphone to have their say, so. All right, the consent agenda consists of the following. Payroll vouchers. Approve payroll vouchers numbers 12158 through 12367 and wire transfers as listed for $731,181.44 for the period ending September 22, 2025. Claim vouchers. Approve claim voucher numbers 12418 through 12669 and wire transfers as listed for $916,620.29 for the period ending on September 22, 2025. And then included in that for information purposes only are budget position totals year-to-date from 9/17/2025. Council members, are there any items that you wish to remove from the consent agenda for discussion? Ms. Ripley?
12230. It's a payroll.
12230. Okay. Any others?
No.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ripley, you have the floor.
Yes, I was wondering if I could get a readout of like all the vacation time and everything that goes with that for the amount.
Yeah,
Okay, thanks. And there was one that we had put on hold a few meetings ago, Morlet Enterprises.
We had put that on hold our last meeting. You're correct.
Yeah, and I still haven't got an explanation of the amount. I have an invoice of it, but would we be able to get him in here to explain why so many hours? He's never been paid this much in a month.
We could ask, I suppose.
I
Let's,
can request it. He is no longer working with us right now, but I can request it.
Okay, I'd appreciate it.
so Monica, are you able to give an explanation on this 12230?
That was paid prior to me becoming in the role I'm in. The invoice was already approved. So, as far as the hours, I don't have an explanation for the hours that were worked.
Or the payout, or any of that.
It was just approved prior to me in the role I'm in. It was already approved to be paid and had went through the payroll, or the voucher cycle at that point. I didn't oversee Mr. Morlet, so I didn't really have any input on what he was doing as far as the hours he was putting in.
Yeah,
Who is this person that we're talking about?
Okay, it's the consultant that was brought in. So I'm sorry, audience, we're trying to clarify everybody we're talking about here. We have an employee whose name is not listed on our salaries being paid out, who received a fairly large settlement. And so we want to figure out some of that, because I don't believe that's an employee that was with the city for terribly long. And then also we have a consultant, I suppose that's the best way to describe this individual, who did some work for the city as far as our finance department. And all of a sudden, he also billed a lot of hours. And we're trying to figure out what some of that was for, what extra work that was done during that period of time. That individual is not working for the city anymore as a consultant either. So it's a little bit difficult for us to get to the bottom of some of this. And part of our task is to be responsible for our fiscal situation in the city. And so we've got council members asking questions about that, as they have very much the right to do. And I think now we're to the point where we'd all like to know what some of these answers are. So, Ms. Fausto.
Mr. Mayor, the interim city manager was here. Jim, do you have any background information on this?
On Morlet?
Mhm.
I don't. He wasn't working directly for me. He was working under Ms. Koski at the time. So, and I would see him on, I think, Thursdays when he comes in. But I didn't track his hours.
Okay, is there any way you can get that information to us, Monica?
I will request it. I can make a phone call and make a request.
And then I think the one thing Ms. Ripley is asking for is to see the number of vacation hours and stuff that were paid out to the unnamed employee.
Yeah, I can get that as well.
okay.
All right, if you could send an email to all of council, I think we'd love to have that information.
And I have one question on a voucher too, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Councilor Hancock.
12615, Davis Consulting.
Okay, one second, Ms. Ripley, did that satisfy your question when we get that information? Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Hancock.
12615, Davis Consulting. Where are we at on that, Jim?
So that's the contract that was entered into for what was at the time the soccer youth soccer program. But I think in the emails that I received, its name's been changed to the Sunnyside Youth Sports Management Plan. At this time, I've asked Mr. Davis. We've paid him for his work to date. I'm not familiar enough with the contract and or comfortable moving forward at this point in time. I've asked him to pause it so that I can kind of get some more information because there's a lot of staff hours apparently in this contract, a lot of staff time and public time to go forward in this. So I need to get a little more comfortable with it before we move forward. So
Good. Okay, thank you.
So then does this $5,000 indicate a stop at this point, or?
that was his invoice he just submitted.
Okay, but we're stopped at this point?
Yes.
Okay. Further questions on the consent agenda? Okay, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve?
Second.
All right, we've got motion by Councilor Hancock, second by Councilor Hart to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Councilor Hancock.
Yes.
Councilor Ripley.
Yes.
Councilor Fausto. Councilor Hart.
Yes.
And I too vote yes. Motion passes. Thank you. Active agenda. Our active agenda begins with a closed record public hearing. And I'd like to read this into the record. The public hearing is being held to receive public comments and recommendations concerning the Fairview Heights preliminary plat. Appearance of fairness. The concern is that this hearing be fair in form and substance as well as appearance. Council members, do any of you have a conflict of interest concerning this issue? Do any of you stand to gain or lose any financial benefit as a result of the outcome of this hearing? If your answer is yes, please speak now. Council members, can you hear and consider this in a fair and objective manner? If your answer is no, please speak now. Audience members, is there anyone in the audience who objects to my participation or any other council member's participation in these proceedings? If there are objections, please approach the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and state your objection. All right, the time is now 6:11. And the public hearing is now open. Mr. City Manager, can you provide the staff report on this item?
I'll actually turn it over to either Corey Taylor or Joseph Calhoun from.
Mr. Calhoun, looks like you're ready to go.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Joseph Calhoun, HLA. I'm just going to provide some brief background and a synopsis of how we got here today. So the preliminary plat of Fairview Heights was initially submitted on January 26th of this year, with additional documents submitted on April 10th and May 3rd. The proposed plat is a 17-lot subdivision of approximately 3.51 acres in the R2 zoning district. The property is located in the vicinity of Fairview Avenue and North 6th Street and is currently vacant. The plat process underwent a lengthy public process, which included public comment, issuance of the SEPA determination, which was a mitigated determination of non-significance, and there was an open record public hearing held at Planning Commission. That hearing was held on August 12th, where the Planning Commission heard the staff recommendation and testimony from the applicant and the applicant's representative. At the end of the public hearing, the commission deliberated and recommended approval of the plat subject to conditions as outlined in the staff report. In accordance with your municipal code, today's date was set for final council action after this closed record public hearing, meaning no new testimony can be submitted on the record. And then after the hearing, you'll be asked to approve a resolution adopting the findings of the Planning Commission and approving the plat. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
All right, so I'm sorry. Next step is for audience members to come forward. So you go ahead and take a seat and we'll allow audience members. Audience members, if any person in the audience wishing to be heard on this matter, please approach the microphone, state your name and address, and offer your testimony. And I don't have anybody on the list here, but a couple of people have come in since the list was handed to me. So if anybody would like to speak on this Fairview public hearing, come on up and state your name and city of residence and make your comments. Okay, council members. questions or comments at this time? And you may ask Mr. Calhoun or Corey.
Do we need to close Jackie, do we need to close the public hearing?
No, this-
Not yet.
Not yet?
Nope.
Okay.
Part of-
All right, council members, any questions? Ms. Frausto.
Do we know what type of housing is anticipated to be built?
My understanding is single-family homes are proposed for the 17 lots, or for 16 of the lots, excuse me. There's one lot that's quite a bit larger, and the intent, as I understand it from the applicant, is to do some type of a multifamily project later on in the future.
Okay, other questions?
I just,
Ms. Hart.
and this is off of, in North Sunnyside, right? Off Fair Avenue?
Fairview Avenue on the north side of the road. Yeah.
Side. Okay, and still within city limits in our growth.
Correct,
plan.
yes.
Okay. That area I know we've been trying to expand into, so that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
to know.
directly north of this property is county, to the west is city, so it's,
Right.
yeah, a little bit of a hodgepodge up there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Ms. Frausto.
Have y'all talked already about pricing? Will this be market pricing housing, or are we talking low income housing for some of the units?
That'd be more of a question for the applicant to respond to. As far as the city process, it's just looking at, are the lot sizes within the standards of the R2 zone, et cetera. So assuming that the plat is approved, the applicant would then have 5 years to complete all of the improvements, utilities, sidewalks, streets. And then once those lots get created, then the applicant would come back in for those building permits in the future. So it would be dependent on what their plan is as far as the price points and amenities and those things.
Thank you.
So I noticed when I read through the paperwork that the planning commission had identified some concerns and questions that they have. Have those been answered or dealt with in any way, or is this something that we've got a timeline to deal with?
So the recommendation includes a number of conditions of approval related to, as I mentioned, things like extending required utilities, streets. There was some changes that are required to be made as far as the turnaround and access and things like that. So the timeline would be the applicant would have 5 years to revise those plans, bring everything in for review by the city prior to that initial infrastructure construction. Once all that's in, then the final plat could come in. It's a check to make sure it have all the standards and conditions been complied with. Then that document gets signed and recorded, then the lots get created from there.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
these pages are the city's
Yes,
plan commission's recommendations. So
and
they're in the packet.
that's what
Yeah.
I was asking
Yeah.
about, those very questions. Yeah, because I do have a concern because sometimes, some of these streets that come in, we had another development that came in some years ago, and there wasn't enough room on the plan originally to be able to get emergency vehicles in and to be able to turn those around. And I think that's an important consideration. And I did notice that on the recommendations from the planning commission, and that is something that, I would have to concur with. But I just wanted to make sure that there's a timeline and that all of us know that those changes have to be taken care of.
Right, yes, they would be. There's one or two conditions in there that talk about compliance with the city's access requirements, roadway widths, et cetera. So all those civil engineering plans will have to be submitted for the review of city staff and engineering staff to demonstrate compliance with those code standards.
All right, thank you, sir, for that.
You're welcome.
All right, council members, any further questions or comments? All right, there being no additional comments from the public or council, let the record show that this public hearing is now closed and the time is 6:19 p.m. Thank you. All right, item B, Fairview Heights preliminary plat. Approve a resolution adopting a planning commission's recommendation and approve the preliminary plat of Fairview Heights. Council members, discussion on this item? Questions or comments?
None.
Hearing none, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve the resolution.
I'll second.
All right, we've got a motion by Counselor Hart, second by Counselor Frausto to approve the resolution that adopts the Planning Commission's recommendation and approve the preliminary plat for Fairview Heights. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Counselor Hart,
Yes.
Counselor Frausto, Counselor Ripley,
Yes.
Counselor Hancock.
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion passes. All right, move that forward, and we can look forward to seeing that development happening here within the next 5 years. All right, then we're going to jump over to item H.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
When we get done with H and IJ, then we have the court thing, but it has a substantial, a money dollar amount to it. So can we ask Monica to stay through that discussion also?
Monica, are you able to stay for that discussion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, item H, Finance Director Employment Agreement. Approve a resolution authorizing the interim city manager to execute an employment agreement with Monica Hofstetter to serve as the City of Sunnyside Finance Director. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you. As you know, Monica has been filling that position since it's been opened. And she's done a really fantastic job. She's extremely helpful for all the staff, especially with the budget time and trying to catch up where things are at. The previous Administrative Services Director had a contract. This is one of the positions that is a non-represented position. And it's, I think, good practice to have these department heads with an employment agreement. And so I prepared one with Ms. Hofstetter for your approval. The key items in here are really the amount of pay, which is $135,200 a year, which is a little bit less than the previous position was being paid at. And then there was some additional language that was put in regarding for cause termination. If I can find that here quickly. And I'll just read those real quick. Employee may be for the purposes of this agreement, the term cause shall mean and include the following causes for disciplinary action of the city's personnel policy: the employee's indictment or conviction in a court of law, fraud or dishonesty by an employee, malfeasance or misfeasance, violation of key city policy, insubordination, dereliction of duty, and intentional or grossly negligent conduct by an employee that is significantly injurious to the city. So with that, I will stand for any questions.
Council members, questions for the manager?
Just
Yeah,
this,
Ms. Hancock.
yes, this has gone through legal, Jim's.
Yes,
And approved by legal.
yes.
I like the additional numbers, the causes for termination if especially the fraud or dishonesty. I think that's important. We haven't had that in there in the past, and I think that's important.
Ms. Ripley?
Appreciate you bringing this forward.
Other questions or comments? I too appreciate this. I think it is a wise idea for the city to occasionally look over the contracts and update them and make sure that they are in keeping with either the times or things that we have learned, lessons we've learned over the last period of time. And I think this is a good improvement to the contract, and I also think it's a good contract. And I also believe that Ms. Hofstetter's been a good addition to our staff. And so I'd like to see her have a good, solid contract to work with here at Sunnyside. Ms. Hancock.
Jim, number 16, return of equipment, property, and documents. It says that on termination, can we add or administrative leave?
Yeah, we can add that.
Okay, I think that would be important to add that.
Okay, further questions or comments? That was a good catch, Ms. Hancock.
Thank you.
All right, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve?
Second.
All right, motion by Councilor Ripley, second by Councilor Hancock to approve the resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an employment agreement with Monica Hofstetter to serve as the City of Sunnyside Finance Director. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Councilor Frausto.
Same.
Councilor Ripley.
Yes.
Councilor Hancock.
Yes.
Councilor Hart.
Abstain.
And I vote yes. In the opinion of the chair, the motion passes. Item I. Delegation of Local Government Investment Pool, LGIP Investment Account. Approve a resolution updating the delegate for Local Government Investment Pool to the current Finance Director, Monica Hofstetter. Mr. City Manager.
And I will have Ms. Hofstetter comment on this.
Ms. Hofstetter.
This is just basically to be able to not only access but deposit and withdraw funds from the LGIP account. I actually spoke with the Finance Committee this past week. We had a meeting, and one of the items I had mentioned was that there needs to be a policy with specifically the investment accounts and how the investment accounts are being allocated to the city, and also that the council should be approving anytime any withdrawal from any of these accounts are done. And so I think a policy is going to probably be created or written up at some point and ran past legal so that it can address some of the, I think, underlying things that aren't presently in place.
Okay. Council members, question for Ms. Hofstetter.
I have one.
Ms. Hancock.
Is this just a single person on there? Is it best practice to have two people on there, or is that not possible?
You can have a second person on there just administratively wise. Usually just the finance person is the one who handles it all. It does have to go through quite a lengthy process to get access to that account. I can tell you that
Okay.
it's not an easy process.
And if we have a policy, just to follow up on her question, if we have that policy that you were mentioning in place, then any type of activity that would happen would need council approval anyway, correct?
Correct.
All right, Ms. Hart.
That was my question.
Oh, sorry, Ms. Hart. I jumped onto your
No,
question. I
no,
took it for myself.
That's perfectly okay. They answered it very well. Thank you.
Further questions or comments? Hearing none, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve.
I'll second it.
All right, we've got a motion by Councilor Hancock, second by Councilor Ripley to approve the resolution updating the delegate for local government investment pool to the current finance director, Monica Hofstetter. Debate on this item. Hearing none. Councilor Hart.
Yes.
Councilor Frausto.
Aye.
Councilor Ripley.
Yes.
Councilor Hancock.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Opinion of the chair, the motion passes. Item J, reinvest local government pool. Approve a resolution for the reinvestment of $1 million into the local government investment pool account. Mr. City Manager.
Again, I'll turn this over to Ms. Hofstetter.
Ms. Hofstetter.
So as of today, one of the purchased investment bonds, the municipal bonds, is maturing today. So those funds, you have a choice to just put into the city's account and use as towards our budget this year, or reinvest. I think it's a wise idea to reinvest the funds, but in the reinvestment, I'm asking to not go back into the municipal bond, but to actually allow the account to have a little more liquidity. So that way we can access the funds if necessary. It kind of has to do with some of the union agreements that were not in place that needed to be in place. And so it's kind of a safety net to be able to have the liquidity there. And that's why I'm saying, let's put it in the LGIP account, because those accounts are much easier to pull from. If you had a bond, you wouldn't be able to pull from that account. You would have to then look to sell the bond, and it's a much lengthier process.
All right, council members, question for Ms. Hofstetter.
So you're,
Go ahead, Ms. Hart.
excuse me. So you're suggesting that the amount of money that's, you just want to you don't really want to reinvest it. You just want to put it in this pool?
It is
Which
an
is not
investment pool.
necessarily
That's
a
the
reinvestment?
local, it's an investment account. That's the local government investment account, the local investment pool.
It's just easier to access. Is that what I'm
No,
understanding?
that's,
Councilor Marquez.
I understand that. So what is the percentage on the return?
Right now,
If it's an
our average,
investment account, I mean.
right now, our average, I can So I went over this with the finance committee a little bit. We have about,
Not me.
I want to say $4 million in there right now. We're averaging around 15,500 a month coming back to us out of that account.
Okay,
And with the municipal bond, the one bond brings about 3,000 a month on average. So if we marry it with these other, the LGIP account, you're gonna have around the same investment coming back. The benefit is that if we had the emergency funds that we needed to pull, they would be a little more available to pull.
so just on that same note, so the money that we're putting into this, the local government investment pool, then that's the money we're planning on using as for the lump sums for general fund and so forth regarding the bargaining unit? Is that what we're talking about? 'Cause I
No,
think I
we
heard you
keep
say
we
that.
don't touch the investment funds unless we have to. And that's the part where I was saying there needs, if the investment funds were ever touched, then there needs to be a policy in place that it always was presented to council. And then right now, I don't think there's anything in place. And so that was the part where I was kind of concerned that I haven't found anything in place that makes those funds have presentation to council on any funds that were ever pulled out of those accounts. So they're still getting invested. It's just a safety net so that if the funds were needing to get pulled out, they were available to the city to be able to use.
And you're just talking that it's a faster turnaround than the bond?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So council, what she's saying is that this investment account is much more liquid than the bond. The bond we'd have to sell, it'd take a lot more work. This investment pool is more accessible to the city should we need it. But the money is still there. We're not proposing spending the money tonight.
No.
Okay, further questions or comments? All right, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve. Second.
All right, motion by Councilor Ripley, second by Councilor Hancock to approve the resolution for the reinvestment of $1 million into the local government investment pool account. Is there debate on this item?
So it's just the 1 million that we're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Councilor Ripley,
Yes.
Councilor Hancock,
Yes.
Councilor Fausto, Councilor Hart.
Yes.
I 2 vote yes, motion passes. All right, now go back to item C, interlocal agreement for the municipal court services with the city of Toppenish. Approve a resolution authorizing the interim city manager to execute an interlocal agreement with the city of Toppenish for municipal court services. Mr. City Manager.
Yes, excuse me. The proposed interlocal agreement allows both cities to collaborate and ensure municipal court services are provided in a cost-effective and compliant manner. The cost of court services includes a minimum monthly fee to 5% for operational costs, including court staff, the presiding judge, prosecutor, public defense services, and utilities. In addition, there are also costs for all of Toppenish cases heard by the Sunnyside Municipal Court. Based on that information, she projects revenue, and this is Vanessa Inquist with the court, of $414,647.10 for 2026 through this agreement.
Council members, questions for the city manager?
I have,
Ms. Hancock.
can you give us a little bit of history? Because it seems like we did this with Toppenish before and it ended up costing us a lot of money. I'm just wondering about, long term, and when was the last time we were in an interlocal agreement with them? Because we were at one time, weren't we?
We have been,
Go ahead, Mr. City Manager.
And I don't have that information, Ms. Hancock. And you may be thinking of the
Ranger.
dispatch services with Toppenish that we just. Okay, but yeah, but I think she's thinking of their agreements with Toppenish. I didn't know.
Well, I think we've been in, Vanessa, can you answer
Well,
that?
there she is. I didn't-
Ms. Inquist, if you want to approach the microphone and answer the question, that'd be fantastic.
The expert.
We have been having an active contract with the city of Toppenish since 2017. I don't see it as anything that's not going to be beneficial to us. I see it as an opportunity for us to generate revenue. They do pay 5% of operational plus any other additional costs that we may come up with, such as assisting with interpreting services, with their share of probation cases. So I see it as a benefit for us to continue operating with them. We've been working fairly well together with them and have a good working relationship with them. Any concerns that I have, they've been willing to address. So, I mean, I've got statistics of their own revenue they've generated on their own. So, I mean, I do see it as something that's going to benefit the city as a whole.
Do you have information on the history of this? Because I don't know. I thought I understood, you know, and I haven't been on council for very long, but I understood that that we were having issues with it, that it was costing us money. And I don't know if you've got a history on that.
I don't see how it would, I mean, yes, it is costing us money, but they do put at least 5% of our operational costs back to us. So
Are they doing that currently?
yes,
And I don't know if Monica has any information on this, or you do. You know, what is our bottom line right now with this 5%?
so from the last time I ran the report, I can't even, it was when we were doing budget. So the last amount that I had collected for court services was at least $307,299, but that was, I believe, in August of this year.
And the expenses?
The expenses, I wouldn't have that off the top of my head. I wouldn't be able to answer that at the moment.
Can we get that?
Is there a way that we can get that information? You can have that emailed to all of council?
Yeah,
I do believe that would be helpful.
okay. Monica, would we be able to pull up the invoices? I mean, would that be beneficial? I don't have
Yeah.
access to the invoices to be able to determine that amount.
Yeah, I can pull up all the invoices for the Toppenish.
Maybe we would get that answer.
Yeah. Are you able to work on that right now, Monica?
No.
I
I don't know if
I'm
you have your
looking
computer with
through
you or
it.
not, so I don't know what you're able to do
have a
where
very
you are.
small screen I'm working off of, so.
Okay, okay. So that's a lot to ask. Okay. Ms. Hart, you had a
But
question?
I can definitely email it to you guys.
Thank you.
Good. Well, the thing is that we've had this contract with the Toppenish courts to be their court.
Yes.
Since 2017. It had been renewed prior to that, if I'm not mistaken. We've been doing their courts now for probably well before 2017.
I don't think that's quite correct. I do remember in
I'm just trying
2017,
to remember the
it
2017.
started, but we have renewed it since.
Okay, that's what I was thinking then. And we haven't had any, as far as I can recall from the discussions, there hasn't been any major expenses for us.
Correct.
So it's really been, there's been a percentage, but not as big as the amount that they're paying us. Is that
There wouldn't be a
fair to
negative,
say?
there wouldn't be a negative impact
It
for,
wouldn't be a negative impact. That's kind of where I'm going with that. Thank you.
Yeah, in 2017, Toppenish stopped doing their own court and
Right.
wanted to work with Sunnyside. We agreed with that, and we've been doing it that way ever since. So
I'd like to
That's
get
right.
the
That
total
remember that,
financials on it though before we approve it. I'd like to figure out what the costs are compared to the income. Because I'm pretty sure that we, you know, at one point that was overburdening what was going on here. So
I believe that may have been at the beginning stages when they were bringing on Toppenish, because there was a lot of cases that we had to transfer from their old database into our database. And since then, we've been caught up since then.
I do recall that.
is there any, if we delay this, are you okay if we delay this to get that information from financial?
It'll certainly impact us a little bit, because right now our contract is expired, so we want to be able to continue moving forward.
It's
so that we
expired
can all-
currently?
Yes.
Oh, well then, if it's expired currently, if it's another week, it probably isn't going to be too big of an impact then.
That is correct. However, I'm looking at the liability of continuing to operate without an active contract. And I do believe there was records requests for wanting to know that information, so I really wanted to get this at least moving forward to minimize that liability risk.
When did it expire?
I don't have the contract right in front of me right now.
Is there a way we can approve it conditionally? I'm asking here for our attorney here, who's very well versed on how things are supposed to run. Can we approve that conditionally, subject to getting full financial information?
I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that. What I would instead potentially do is approve it. And then if you find out, do some additional research on it that it isn't benefiting you, then you could also turn around and terminate it. Just follow the terms of the contract. Give them the required notice to do that. I tend to agree. I mean, I've reviewed this contract. It's fine in my opinion. I do agree because your municipal court is going through litigation and whatnot right now, that it would be helpful to have a fully approved contract, so that you can respond to some of these requests and we can get that end tied up.
I agree. Counselor Hart?
It seems like part of the problem with some of the cases in that interim part where we were having difficulty getting things done as quickly as possible because we were going through the uploading did come back and kind of bite us a little bit because people weren't feeling like they were getting their day in court fast enough. At no fault of our own, but just happened to be, there was a backlog. So I think moving ahead with this and authorizing the interlocal agreement at this point for all the reasons that Ms. Norton said and the ones that you've explained, I think we should move ahead with that just to negate any possible liability, liabilities. Thank you. I got all these abilities in my head. So I think that we really ought to go ahead and authorize the, if there's a huge amount of money that we're not getting, maybe we would want to reconsider but for the present, I think approving the interlocal agreement is in our best interest.
Thank you. Counselor Hancock?
Yeah, if we read the modification and termination, we have to have mutual consent, but to terminate, it's a 1-year notice. So I think waiting a week to get the financials on it is much better than having a 1-year notice to get out of it if the financials aren't there.
Well, I'm going to assume that term is in your existing agreement, which is going to have been treated as carrying over during this time of uncertainty. So you're probably still looking at needing to give a 1-year notice regardless. I mean, it's not easy to just unwind a court, which is why there is such a long time frame for notice. So I don't see much additional harm in approving the contract now so you can get an effective contract on your books and then finding out that maybe in another week you have to give your 1-year notice, because I think you have to give the 1-year notice anyway.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Further questions? Okay, it sounds from my perspective that it's not going to hurt us in any way to approve it tonight, because we'd have to give them a 1-year notice if we decided not to move forward with them anyway. And it gives our court something to lean against as far as being able to get these trials to court in a timely manner. So there seems like there's benefits to our court to be able to approve this,
I think so.
but that's where I'm falling on the issue. So
I'm not going to vote to approve anything till we get the financials on it. I want to see the financials before we sign it, so.
all right, thank you, Ms. Hancock. Further questions or comments?
Move for the question.
All right, so if there's no questions or comments, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve the resolution authorizing the interim city manager to execute the interlocal agreement with the city of Toppenish for municipal court services.
I'll second.
All right, a motion by Councilor Hart, second by Councilor Fausto. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Councilor Ripley,
Abstain.
Councilor Hancock,
No.
Councilor Fausto, Councilor Hart.
Yes.
I too vote yes. In the opinion of the chair, the motion passes. Item D. Lower Valley Pathway Interlocal Agreement with the City of Grandview. Approve a resolution authorizing the interim city manager to execute an interlocal agreement with the City of Grandview for the Lower Valley Pathway Project. Mr. City Manager.
Yeah, so first of all, the project has been completed. This is an after the fact interlocal agreement. And I'll just read it right here. The City of Sunnyside and Grandview partnered on the Lower Valley Pathway Project, which improved pathway connectivity. Grandview secured $600,000 in ARPA funds through Yakima County, and additional contributions from both cities were required to complete the project. This agreement is being presented to council after the fact, as it was previously not brought forward for approval or execution in 2024 when the project began. The original anticipated cost share for Sunnyside was up to $100,000. The contribution amount since the project has been completed has now been actually reduced to $32,185.84. Under the terms of the agreement, Grandview served as the lead agency, which included engineering, contracting, construction oversight, and Sunnyside will reimburse Grandview for our share of the design and construction invoices up to the agreed contribution of $32,185.84.
Council members, questions or comments for our city manager? Ms. Ripley.
Is this the project that we had planned on having the ARPA money pay for?
I have no knowledge of that. I couldn't answer that question.
I believe it was Ms. Ripley.
I think it was. It was on our upper list. And that was up
And-
to the $100,000.
And 50,000 was supposed to be ours and 50,000 was supposed to be Grandview. I think it was.
Something, it was a shared cost,
Yeah.
shared project, and it didn't move forward in 24. And so the project's been completed, but we never approved the contract. So we're retroactively, 24, I think that was a year of not a lot being done in proper order.
Yeah,
And there was a lot going on.
okay.
So, but yeah, that's what that was. Ms.
What other-
Hart, you had a comment?
I do, and the question here is, so then it says here that Sunnyside will reimburse Grandview. So the money that we're reimbursing Grandview is the 32,000.
Correct.
185. So originally, even though we had offered, our part was to be 100,000, because of it's all done and everything's already paid for, what's left over is the 32?
No, the project actually came in under budget.
Okay.
So that's why there's a
Okay.
cost savings.
Okay,
Yeah.
it wasn't clear on that, why there was such a drop in the amount of money. Thank you.
Further questions or comments?
I saw something in the paper about this. Did they already dedicate it?
I have no
I-
idea.
I don't think so. I don't think
I
so.
think yes, if I remember correctly.
Is that right, Jackie?
It's September 27th is the rededication.
Okay, so coming up.
So coming up. Saturday.
Can you send that out to us, Jackie? Thank you.
I did remember reading it, but I didn't remember reading the date, so that's already done.
Yeah, under budget. Okay.
All right, further questions or comments? Hearing none, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve the resolution authorizing city manager, interim city manager to execute the interlocal agreement with the city of Grandview in the amount of $32,185.84 for the Lower Valley Pathway Project.
I'll second it.
All right, we've got a motion by Counselor Hart, second by Counselor Ripley to approve the resolution. It's so thoughtfully read into the record. Thank you, Ms. Hart, for doing that, so I don't have to try to do that again. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Go ahead, yes.
Did you read that right?
Mhm.
132,000?
No, 32,000.
32,000.
32,000, okay.
Yeah, she started to say 100,000 and corrected herself.
Okay.
It was only 32, 185.
Okay, further debate or questions?
No,
Okay.
that was it.
All right, Counselor Hancock,
Yes.
Counselor Ripley,
Yes.
Counselor Frausto, Counselor Hart?
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion passes. Item E, AP Triton GEMT Consulting Services. Approve a resolution authorizing the interim city manager to renew our agreement with AP Triton Consulting for GEMT cost reporting and submission services. All right, Mr. Bridges.
Mr. Chief Halbrick.
Chief.
Well, thank you, Mayor and Council. So just bringing to your attention a request to renew a ongoing contract that we've had with AP Triton since 2018. This is our consulting firm that takes care of all of our data collection, submittal, and everything that goes along with our GMT cost recovery program. Kind of gave the synopsis in the summary, but just to kind of reiterate, the GMT program is ground emergency medical transport. This is a state-funded program that helps offset our costs for lost revenue with Medicare, Medicaid transports. Our average recovery on those patients is about 9 to 12% of amount billed. So the GEMT program awards funding to offset those revenue losses. In years past, our average recovery through the GEMT program has been anywhere between 400 and 430,000.
Questions for the chief? Ms. Hancock?
So they get 7,500 a year plus 3% of the city's EMT. So the total is,
It's dependent on what we receive for, because every year the funding is different, and it's based on, so the GMT pool is quite literally a pool of funds. And so what the consultant does is they bill out what's an average cost for transport, times the number of transports that we're submitting for. And then pretty much what's in that pool, then it gets disseminated out, based on percentages. And again, process I don't completely understand, which is why we have a consultant for it. So
what we paid last year.
it was roughly, I want to say it was the tune roughly of 16,000 roughly. And again, don't quote me on that, but it's going to be right in that ballpark.
Plus the 7,500.
That is correct, ma'am.
Okay.
And that is very standard, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. And you're pleased with their service?
Very much so.
Thank you.
Further questions?
Just a
Ms.
comment.
Hart?
Yes, ma'am.
That seems to me that it's very cost effective. Their recovery of the money that for those folks who are not able to get it to you right away.
Correct. And one comment I did make in the summary as well is that pretty much the quality of the data that we submit to the HCA for the GMT funding is very much dependent upon, again, how it's submitted, what is submitted. And so having a good consultant do this work is directly reflective of the funds that we do receive.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and as I recall, we've renewed this a couple of times.
Since 2018.
All right, if there's no other questions, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Councilor Hancock, second by Councilor Frausto to approve the resolution authorizing the interim city manager to renew our agreement with AP Triton Consulting for GEMT cost reporting and submission services. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Councilor Frausto?
Yes.
Councilor Ripley?
Yes.
Councilor Hancock?
Yes.
Councilor Hart?
Yes.
I too vote yes, motion passes. Item F, limitation of city manager and department director spending authority. Approve a resolution limiting the spending authority of the city manager and department directors until the city's purchasing and procurement policy is updated in the upcoming budget cycle. Mr. Bridges.
Thank you. We were looking at updating the entire policy. And there are several RCWs and things of this nature that started cross-referencing. And so in the interim, until we get that policy completely updated, we thought we'd bring this resolution forward to you. It's essentially the same thing we talked about during those discussions where the city manager's authority is limited to $10,000. Those items have to be budgeted and they have to be brought forward if the city manager or department head use that power to go ahead and enter into a contract. It has to be brought forward to the city council at the next scheduled meeting so that those purchases are out in public and everybody knows where they're coming from, what's been spent and where the money came from. So
Questions for Mr. Bridges? Ms. Hart?
So correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't $10,000 the amount that the city manager was approved for purchases and et cetera, like 20 years ago?
I have no idea.
Wouldn't it, well, you were working around here at that time, but nevertheless, so $10,000 does not seem to me to be a reasonable amount of money for the city manager to be budgeted for those kind of purchases. Absolutely bringing them before the council. I absolutely agree with that. But it just seems to me that it should be closer to $20,000 going forward. I just don't think 10,000 is really going to be enough. You know,
So typically what we see this being used for, and not to pick on Jafet, but as we have software updates, right? And those contracts come out, they're off a meeting, but there's a 50% discount deal if we update our software at that time. And so that's typically where you'd see this happen.
Mhm.
So most of this business or I would say probably 99.9% of the business comes before the council. We don't usually use this policy. This is, in my opinion, it's a one-off policy.
Isn't it more of an emergency type policy?
I wouldn't say it's emergency. It's just kind of again, I don't look at it as an emergency. It's more of an opportunity policy at the discretion of the city manager. Can we wait on this, or does it have to take immediate action to take this? And so if immediate action is needed, then it's something that we need to do.
But it seems to me it just seems to me that $10,000 is just nothing. You hardly can get anything for $10,000. So I'm just thinking that if it was at least 20, I mean, obviously you're still going to bring it back to the council, but in those situations where this is a good deal, we got to get it right now.
And if that's the direction of council, 20, that's,
I'm just thinking that it ought to be just some higher than that, than 10.
Councilor Hancock.
We have to remember that if it's an emergency, most of us live here in town. I'd rather we err on the side of being cautious. We can always call a special meeting if there's a true emergency and get a quorum of council here to give the city manager the authority. I really appreciate that, that 50,000 was way too much. And if Mr. Bridges is happy with $10,000, I'm happy with $10,000.
Okay, further questions?
So I would just add, in the 4 months I've been here, approximately 4 months, I think we used it once. It was I think it was $9,800 I think we had to spend. Now Japhet does have one that's coming up. That was, what was it, Japhet? 14,000. Right. And when do we have to do that one, Japhet? Oh, I don't want to steal your thunder. That's part of your report tonight. I said, I don't want to steal your thunder. That's part of your report tonight. So,
What are the questions?
yeah.
So
So we did take advantage of the higher one, the current policy, right? We did take advantage of that so that we could execute the contract with Japhet's supplier vendor. So it does happen. But I think that was more or less probably because we didn't have the policy revised per council's instructions, and so otherwise it would have been brought to council. But since we hadn't got that far yet, we went ahead and signed that 14,000, or Japhet signed that 14,000.
So this is something that also we can remember that this is something that council can modify. So if, for example, we choose to stick with the $10,000 number and council finds that is not working well, it can be modified at a future date, just like we're modifying it down from the 50,000 that council previously approved. That being said, if we decide to go with $20,000 tonight, we can also modify it from that because this is a council decision, so we get to do that. So I think the important part is less, this is my opinion again, it's less the amount that we approve, but rather the change in the policy that makes council more aware of what's going on. It's brought before council so that we're not saying, oh, what was this spent on? And suddenly finding, as is now under the current policy, $50,000 that's been spent on something that we weren't aware of, which was a possibility. This is a stronger policy. Now, if we were to stick with either of those numbers, I think that's a legitimate council decision. And so I think the number is less of an argument because we can bring that up at any council meeting and change that if it's necessary.
And I agree. This is what we've looked at, and we've got 2 council members absent. So that's why I think we leave it at the 10,000 mark. And then if we want to change it as a total council, we can.
Because we'll be bringing that policy update back soon. This is just a stopgap measure.
Okay, Councilor Ripley?
I'm ready to leave it at 10,000.
Okay, Councilor Hart?
Well, I'd like to
Your
make
comment, you were just starting to make a
I was
comment.
going to make a different comment. So this actually does, while it looks like that we are talking about a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute no, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. But I don't have it in front of me, but the thing is it seems to me that you have inside of the resolution, thank you. Mr. City Manager, you've already put in that $10,000, whereas this is just, okay, temporary limitations, okay. Then I see what you're saying then. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But I do think we're gonna come back and ask for more,
You may very well be right.
because it seems like if $14,000 there for something and you only have 10,000 for, you can see where I'm thinking a little bit more would be better.
But Mr. Bridges, did you not say that you would have brought it to council before if you hadn't had that extended authority to do that? It would have been brought to council, correct?
Yes,
And it would be still anyway, correct?
correct.
Okay,
Good.
number notwithstanding, we're talking about a policy, limitation of the city manager and department director spending authority. What is the desire of council on this item?
Move to
Move to
approve.
approve. Oh, Ms. Rippey.
Second.
All right, motion by Counselor Ripley, second by Counselor Hancock to approve the resolution limiting the spending authority of the city manager and department directors until the city's purchasing and procurement policy is updated in the upcoming budget cycle. Further debate on this?
None.
Hearing none. Counselor Hancock. Counselor Fausto. Counselor Ripley.
Yes.
Counselor Hart.
Yes.
I too vote yes. The motion passes. Item G, vacation of property north of West Edison. Resolution to have the city vacate the property north of West Edison between 216 West Edison and 300 West Edison. Mr. Bridges.
I'll turn this over to our Deputy Public Works Director, Hector Mejia.
Mr. Mejia.
Sorry. Good afternoon. Yes, so there is a property that was brought to our attention. That Blue Mountain Ventures is wanting to develop just north of that. So there is an easement. We would like to vacate this area that is between 216 West Edison and 300 West Edison. We would like to be able to post it for the 20 days as it's stated in the RCWs that you guys have in front of you with the packet. And obviously bring it to your guys' attention of an open meeting, public meeting, once it has been posted and we can move forward.
All right, questions for Mr. Mejia? Ms. Hancock.
Okay, I got a couple.
Yes, ma'am.
So when we vacate this right of way,
Yes.
then it says prior to the hearing on the petitions, what you're talking about, the city manager may conduct an appraisal of the property to be vacated and determine any extra fees to be paid by property owners. I mean, is there value in the land?
There's a value on every land,
Right.
obviously. So moving forward, once we have the posted and it's been to the public hearing, yes, we will obviously be able to put a dollar amount on there, and then we can move forward.
Because in the resolution, it has like,
I know dollar signs. Yes, I apologize for that. Those dollar signs were supposed to have dollar
I thought that.
amount. No.
Professional resolution.
No, I do apologize for that. That was my mishap of reviewing it, and I was
Put a
so excited to
placeholder.
get it on here because they've had this petition since 5/28,
Okay.
and they are wanting to move forward, and so I didn't want to miss the deadline to get it in there. So I was doing the best I can to get it in there, and obviously, yeah.
We're gonna look at the value of the land.
Yes, ma'am.
With that being said, Mr. Mayor, with that being said, Ms. Hancock, so we are still going to retain any easements through there for our water and sewer and other utilities and our franchisees as well. So,
Yeah.
and with, without going through an assessment, this may be the highest and best use of this piece of property because it's just been sitting vacant. The city will never have any reason to actually utilize this right away. So
Okay.
Can they build on it, Jim?
they're going to be using it for their access.
Yeah,
Access.
the development's gonna be just north of that. So they just want to be able to access it through there because obviously it's actually called Elm Street, which not very many people knew that it was called Elm Street. So they just want to be able to access. And yes, we will be having the easements, as it states on the packet that we'll have it for our water and sewer line.
Isn't that where Freddy Krueger lives? It's on Elm Street.
I believe so.
Further questions or comments? Ms. Frausto?
Yeah, for the interim city manager, when will we know the value of the land?
I'll have to order an appraisal and
Okay.
we can get that done.
What's the timeline?
I have no idea, but we'll try to turn it around pretty quick.
Thank you.
Further questions?
And so then we'll schedule this for a public hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
At once after we posted it for the 20 days,
Okay,
I'll bring it back to council so we can have a public hearing.
okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And there'll be a dollar amount, I promise.
Any further questions, comments? Hearing none, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve?
Second it.
All right, we have a motion by Councilor Hancock, second by Councilor Ripley to approve the resolution to have the city vacate the property north of West Edison between 216 West Edison and 300 West Edison. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Councilor Hart,
Yes.
Councilor Frausto, Councilor Ripley,
Yes.
Councilor Hancock.
Yes,
I 2 vote yes, motion passes.
Thank you.
thank you, Hector.
All right. Items from council members, mayor's appointments for boards and commissions. I know that we have asked for people to apply. I have been absent for a week, and so I can tell you that the Rules Committee has not met to consider any applications. And as soon as we get everybody back functioning and healthy again, we will try to have a meeting and take a look at what applications are there. Okay, council request status report. Mr. Mejia, I'm sorry, you've got most of these.
Okay. I'll just, I can begin off the top.
It'll come up in seconds, but you go ahead and get started on the first one.
Okay.
Dog breeding.
The dog breed, yes. Dog breed, I know that Chief Lehman and Benton County Animal Shelters have connected, and they are working on getting a contract for us to be able to get an animal shelter over there. And the dog breed be sent it out to obviously our lawyer, so everything will be correct on the language. And I'm doing the best I can to move forward. Yes, ma'am.
How are we gonna get that out about the dog breeding? You know, are we gonna put it in the paper? Are we gonna?
So my idea is to have it obviously on our website and put it in the Daily Sun, obviously. And then hopefully, if anybody has any questions, and once we get a ACO, that would be very helpful for us to move forward and obviously keep on track on making sure that the people that are trying to dog breed are not able to, because obviously with the dog catcher, that's their job. They're more aware of it, and I do what I can to make sure I'm aware.
And Ms. Ripley, I do believe that we'll probably use every communication avenue that the city has at their disposal, whether it be Facebook or any other, the way we get everything out all the time as it is. And so we'll just use every means at our disposal.
Okay, never mind. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, further questions or comments on this item?
Good job.
All right, looking forward to having a policy in place and hopefully ACH or ACO in place. All right, next item is, scroll down so we can.
Yellowstone Trail.
Yellowstone Trail, yes.
Yes.
So I have taken a picture of the Yellowstone billboard that they have on Grandview pavement right now. I am working towards to get a little plaque or a placard, obviously on one of our businesses that is here in town, so we can have one made and put up at the Yellowstone, obviously by Mrs. Councilwoman Hancock's area, so that can be placed. So I am moving forward. I just trying to make sure that it's not above more than what we want to pay for.
Understood.
And so we don't know what the budget for that is yet.
Exactly.
Very little, actually.
We haven't done. We're working on getting some.
All right. Next will be
Temporary vendors.
temporary vendors.
Yeah.
Any updates on that?
That-
Lori?
Yeah, well, we are making progress on that one. Waiting to get the final draft to legal and get that back before we can get it to everybody here for approval. We are making progress with some of the pop-up vendors around town. The weekend, there was quite a few. We're putting the property owners on notice because they are responsible for what happens on their property as well. So, we did have one last weekend that were dumping their grease, leftover stuff down the storm drains. So there's some other parties involved in that one, but we're trying to get them under control. So.
And I do want to make it clear and reiterate over and over again, this is not about putting people out of business. That is not the intention at all. We do not want to put people out of business. Rather, we want to make sure that they are in compliance with city regulations the way every other business has to be. And there are rules in the way we conduct business in Sunnyside, and they have to be the same rules for everyone. So that's what this is about. It's not about running people out of business and jacking up their expenses unnecessarily, because we're trying to keep costs as minimal as we possibly can. It's just please follow the rules. So that's what this is about.
And we do have the report on the business or the vendors that did do that, and we have pictures. So we have a report that we are keeping together. Obviously moving forward, they moved to a different place, but we're obviously coming in, or myself is coming in at night trying to figure out, because they try to open up between 5, 7 to late at night. So I have been driving around trying to see if I can find them and notify them and let them know that, you know, we're not here to discourage you from being open, but we would like you, like the mayor stated, to do properly things the right way. So.
Thank you. Fire hydrant parking lines.
And that is completed.
Awesome.
That is completed. The street department did a wonderful job on completing the parking line. Oh, wait, no, that's the parking lights there. Yes, they cater. Yes, so it is completed. We did do that. They did do that. We used the 5-gallon of paint that was donated to us. And it was completed. So thank you to the street department who worked hard on it. And I thank you for letting it be completed.
Very good.
Thank you for getting that done.
Scratch that off.
And
Yes.
if Ms. Vasquez were here this evening, then we would ask if she'd want to remove that from the, but we'll do that the next time.
Yes.
All right.
Righty.
And then the next one is our farm implement machinery. Has anything?
Yeah, so that's actually me. I've actually reached out to WCIA. We've taken some pictures of it, and we're just waiting a response back from them. So.
Okay. And then 6th Street parking.
The 6th Street parking, like I said, is we did run out of paint, obviously, to continue the paint lines. So that is something that we will be making up next year. Obviously, moving forward with the budget, I am putting a little bit more money, because obviously everything gets more expensive and we need a little bit more paint so we can finish as much as we can. We do have a lot of parking stalls, and obviously the ones on North Street are a little bit longer than usual, but we are working diligently for next year to make this a priority and get it done.
Okay, question is not on the 6th Street parking lines, but on parking in general. I know a lot of the parallel parking lines and those sorts of things are really faded, and I'm seeing people that going back to the angle parking, for example, across the street from City Hall. Are we going to get those parallel parking boxes repainted? Is that on the agenda to do, or is that?
That is on the agenda to do. Like I stated, that we just didn't have enough money in the budget to be able to buy more paint to get it all completed. So next year, that would be one of our high priorities that we'll be able to do moving forward with the budget that hopefully gets approved and we have the money in there.
Okay, because I'm seeing in certain areas, the old angle lines are reappearing, and the new parallel parking isn't quite as obvious, and so people are somewhat concerned or confused, I think, about what should be done there. So it would be ideal if we could find the money to buy the paint to repaint those. And
most definitely, and going forward, perhaps maybe I can look at the budget again and see if we can get some money to buy maybe like a 5-gallon bucket, or some amount to get out there and paint those parking stalls. So people won't, miss what they are.
That's just best if people aren't confused.
Yes.
So, okay, thank you for that. The next item is city vehicle markings.
Yes, so I have reached out to a company that, they're taking a little bit longer than I anticipated, so I am going to move forward with a company that be able to get the stickers to me sooner, which is here in town. And then, as soon as I get those, I think the turnaround was pretty quick, I think with the fireworks signs. Corey made the order and we got it that day, so tomorrow I will be making an order. And it's not as many as I thought it was gonna be. It's 51 vehicles that we only need to make these, the markings on. So hopefully tomorrow I will make an order and they'll be able to get it back to me and we can have our fleet, put it on all our vehicles that need it.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Is there any item that council members would like to add to the council request status report going forward? Ms. Hart.
I do have one. I'm not sure if it goes on the status report or not, but I'd like to get it out there as to the city manager regarding the opiate dollars and advertising for that. If I recall correctly, there was some marketing money set aside that was going to be used through the radio station, the Spanish radio station, for some PSAs on the opiate, some of the stuff, the messaging that was going on about, can't remember what it is, but I know that we're doing messaging on don't use opiates. Maybe.
A little more involved than just say no, but I know.
Yeah, it's more than no, but I think, Chief, do you have something on that?
Yeah, City Manager Gonzalez approved $5,000 to Radio KDNA for advertising out of the opioid funds.
Out of the opiate money, and it was for PSAs, is that correct?
Correct. Now, I'm not sure if, that didn't go through me, so I'm not sure if they've invoiced us or we've paid it. I'm not sure where that's at, but I know that.
City clerk?
I think it was paid.
Yeah.
They have been paid. They also sent scripts and everything, their schedule that they've been advertising with. Do you want me to forward it on to everybody?
I was just gonna ask if we could see what some of that messaging looks like.
So we have been getting what we paid for.
Is that right?
Because there was some concern about that. There were questions about that because I didn't know what that money was going for either. And so there were questions that were brought up. But to hear that we have been getting paid, that we've been getting what we paid for is a good thing. And knowing what it was that we were paying for is also a good thing. So I appreciate that being brought back up, Counselor, and thank you for the information, Chief.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Ms. Ripley.
We had gotten an email, the city emails about the opioid money. Gosh, I printed it out tonight and I think I left it at home. It was, we needed to get in on.
I think what you're talking about is they sent an exhibit A or B, I believe, and Monica filled that out, gave it to me, and I submitted it, and then I got an email back from them saying that everything was taken care of.
Okay, thank you.
That was for the next round, I believe.
Right.
That's what I thought it was, and
The next round of money coming in?
Correct. Yeah, I think it's over. There's multiple lawsuits. So Johnson & Johnson got sued.
this was Purdue or something.
So-and-so pharmaceuticals got sued. And so there's multiple different lawsuits. So it's to join each one. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Good. Well, that brings us up to date on a couple of things. So thank you very much for that information. That's very helpful. Okay, so did they get your questions answered or does that need to be added to the report?
Well, no.
Okay.
Just needed to know where we were at on it and just to get an update. So
Okay.
Right.
I think that answers the question and
Okay.
brings everybody on the same page.
And
Thank
we will
you.
forward the actual messages.
Yeah, I'd like to see what
Yeah.
some of those look like.
Yeah.
You bet.
And that contract is up in April 2026, and you should have that in your inbox now.
26, April
Look
26.
for that in your inbox.
Good. Thank
after
you.
This meeting.
Yeah, cool. All right.
All right, item C, other reports, announcements, and or questions by council. And we're going to start with Counselor Hancock.
Okay, well, I attended Sunshine Days and the parade and went to the Miss Sunnyside pageant. I thought they did a good job. I really appreciate city staff's time and I thought the Rotary Club did a good job. The pageant was great. People are getting hold of me about continued fireworks still. I saw big aerial displays 2 nights ago. It looked like it was in the Hill area. I don't know how we're going to enforce this, but we need to figure out a way to enforce it. And then I saw, Chief, that you had complaints about the motorcycles, because I'm getting complaints about those again, and I saw you gave one guy a ticket. But yeah, I just want to bring that to top of mind again, because I get texts and 10 o'clock at night, motorcycles. So, and I say, call the police department, but you know, I don't mind that they text me that, but you know, I just need to remind, speed on Schoon Road. It's getting bad. The cars are going up there 50 miles an hour sometimes, you know, past in the 25 mile an hour. And then Hector or Corey, the weeds there by the Yellowstone Trail, that one lot is really bad right now.
Okay.
It's really, yeah, don't look at my property though. Okay, just look at that lot. No, I'm getting mine done. And then I just want to make sure that the city manager gets that information on the Toppenish court costs to us. So just a reminder of that. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Councilor Ripley.
Yeah, the little motorcycles, they have to wear helmets with those, don't they?
Yes.
Well, on a pedal bike, you're not required to wear a
Not a
helmet.
pedal bike, it's
Well,
for the little,
So there's a difference between, it's complex because you have electric bikes that are considered bikes. You have motorbikes that are not street legal that are being ridden.
Yes.
And then you have street legal motorcycles. So it all depends on where they fall. A street legal motorcycle has to have turn signals, licensed, helmet, all of that kind of stuff. The little, we call them pocket bikes. They shouldn't even be ridden around in the city. Those are for out in the country going down, you know,
Through the field.
through fields or whatever, yeah. And then the electric pedal bikes, now those electric pedal bikes will go 30 miles an hour. They're supposed to follow the rules of the road like any other bike, but they're a lot more powerful than a regular bike. So this is a new issue since all of these bikes have become so prevalent, probably in the last 6-8 months. Now we're starting to see them pop up everywhere. We're getting complaints of them coming off of curbs, going out into traffic. I've probably had 5 complaints in the last 2 weeks. I've never had a complaint one prior to 2 weeks ago. So it's becoming a big
If I
issue.
remember correctly, and I would have said it would have been 2005, 6, 7, somewhere in that range. City council came up with a policy about the scooters that were real popular at the time, the electric scooters and gasoline powered scooters. You know, the ones that you could stand on. There was a couple of them running around town. They were gasoline powered, and there's quite a few of them that were electric. And the reason I remember that because my oldest daughter had a scooter and she wanted to ride it to work at the pool. And about the time we were about ready to give our okay for that, then the city councils came up with a policy that did not make that possible. You had to be 16, you had to have proper documentation, and you had to have a helmet and all that kind of stuff. I don't remember what all the rules were, but it made it impossible for her to ride her electric scooter to work. Is that still on the books, or has that been struck off the books, or is it something that we need to revisit?
When was this?
I will say 2000, let's just give it a little bit of range, 5, 6, 7, 8,
So-
somewhere in that range.
So I was a brand new cop here at that time.
Right. I just remember reading it.
I don't remember anything about it. I do remember the 2-stroke ones that are really loud that were being ridden around at that time, but I don't recall any laws being put on the books for
Yeah,
that.
as I remember now, because it's been a while, so, you know, but because it impacted my own child, I thought it would stick in my head a little bit more, but I do remember there's being something put in place by the city council at that time, so maybe if we've got something on the books,
Mr. Mayor.
that could be revised.
There was definitely something put on there by city council, and because they were riding them on the sidewalks through the downtown area. So we did something about that, but I don't know if it's been removed or not since I've been off council, so.
So that may be a tool we have to be able to enforce things, but those scooters, yeah, they do tend to wait until after dark, even in the late summer evenings, and they are loud and they're flying along. I know I saw one that has a small headlight, another one has no lights whatsoever. And I am scared for the operators actually, because with no lights on those things and it getting dark earlier, somebody's gonna get not seen and hit. And somebody's gonna get hurt bad. And I really want to prevent that from happening. Because those things do scoot along pretty fast.
Okay, and I
Okay.
also went to the Miss Sunnyside pageant. First time I ever went. I liked it. It was awesome. And I went to Sunshine Days and I had heard that there was an incident at Vegas bar with what was it, an air pistol? Somebody shot somebody in the head with an air pistol.
Yeah, I think that was in my weekly report 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, is there being more police watching that place or,
We'll go in there probably 3 times a night and walk through it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
It,
'cause we've had a few complaints about it and I just, I wasn't sure if anything was being,
the downtown bar area gets a lot of attention on the weekends.
uh-huh.
Do you report that to Liquor Control Board?
We've been in contact with them, yep.
That's the best way to get results.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also when their liquor license comes up for renewal.
And that's on the city council, whether or not to
Well,
renew those on.
yes, that'll come to the city manager and then, yeah.
So places that are problematic. Could,
And there have been enough complaints about that particular establishment to warrant the
Warrant some
city.
closer
discussing that,
supervision.
But we really don't. Yeah, I worked with the Liquor Control Board for 30 years. While they send us a letter that says, do you approve this? We can't deny it. So it's important to get a hold of the Liquor Control Board if you've got a problem bar, because they're the only ones with real enforcement powers. So just for clarification.
And that's good to know. So I appreciate
Yeah.
that. So, all right.
And Vicky was, yeah, okay.
Okay, Ms. Frausto.
Nothing to report.
Okay, Ms. Hart.
Okay, so I already did the one on opiates, so, the climate resiliency, advisory, group met last Tuesday. And thanks Hector for getting that all organized for us. While we didn't have a quorum, we had some people who are getting the materials, because it was recorded so that we could get it out onto our website. And then so we already have homework. Just want to show you my homework for the resiliency group. We're going to meet again on October the 20th, and Joe Calhoun, who was here earlier, yeah, he was there and he did a really good presentation. Now, if anybody is interested in looking and seeing what this is going to be about and what the timelines are, it is on the city's website. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's under,
It should be under the resilient,
but it's under one of the subcon.
oh, yes, on the side.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it is. If you could, please. I'd like to have that on the record so that people know where to look for that. But in any case, this is going to be really interesting. We're also trying to create a vision statement, and it's, when you start to do vision statements, each word that you use has to be precise and mean what you want it to. So there's going to be some really good, okay, good. And it's under,
Was it on the very bottom? Climate resilience?
yeah, but what's the top, the row there? So if you look under the minutes and agendas and all of that, proclamations, it's clear at the bottom. Clear at the bottom on that side, right there. Climate is on the left side. Thank you. In the green. Yeah.
He's on it.
Yeah, so there we go. Jackie's on it. Thank you. So if anybody wants to check up on it, see the purposes, who's on that committee, and add any thoughts that you may have, please do so, because we're going to be we have a timeline. We need to get some stuff done by December. A lot of stuff has already been done. We're just going to be adding our 2 cents. So, and that's what we were needed to do. And we have all that information in our homework here. Let me see here. The other thing I wanted to ask about is the business of workshops, our budget workshops. Have we set up some plans for when we're going to start doing that? Because I know that those on the council, we probably got to clear some dates, and I don't remember if any have been set yet.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Deputy Mayor's the only one that has responded to scheduling that meeting, and I just forwarded over as a reminder again.
Okay, so we can,
For the 29th through the 3rd, if anyone's available.
okay. When did that go out? Don't remember seeing it, but. that
It went
doesn't
out
mean
before
anything.
because our original meeting was scheduled September 26th.
Right.
And then that one's,
That's what I had, yeah.
that was canceled. So my email to all of you went out September 4th.
Okay, so I've completely forgot it. But it's coming up on Monday night?
The 26th has been canceled. So if you give me your availability between September 29th and October 3rd,
Okay, that's
that
what
would
you're
be
asking
best.
for. Okay.
Deputy Mayor is not available on the 26th.
But we are going to be between the 29th and the 3rd.
Right, and we're gonna need to schedule a special meeting in there sometime too.
And, right. So there's that. And then also I would like to ask to have on our workshop agenda, before we go into the, budget workshops, I'd like to have the, what is that thing called? Give me a minute here. We've had it in the last few times as a for information purposes only, the budget position, totals, year to date. And these ones are marked for this month where it's 9/17, but I would like to have us look at those over at our next workshop meeting. So can we get that on whatever list that goes on?
That was the budget.
The budget year to date, so that we can see where we are as we're moving into where we're going.
Okay.
Let me see what else I did. I think so too. Yeah. Thank you, Jackie, for thinking of that. What else did I have here? Dun, dun, dun. I too was in the parade, Saturday night. I don't know about the rest of y'all who were down there in the parade, but it got kind of dark pretty quick. And none of us thought to bring flashlights. And so next year, if we're going to do it that late in the evening, because it's starting to get dark, maybe we all want to light up our floats. You know, those of us who aren't normally floats in the parade, you know, the Miss Sunnysides and Miss Grandviews and Miss Prospers, they always have lights, but the rest of us don't. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of people out that evening. It was a nice evening to be in a parade and waving out the window and scared for all the children trying to get the candy. That always makes me kind of freak out a little bit, but it was a really fun time. And I want to say thank you to the folks who put that together. That was really good. And that's all I have.
Okay. Well, from my perspective as well, I also attended Sunshine Days, and as much as I could, I had other obligations going on at the same time, so it made it a little bit complicated, and I ended up missing the parade because the time totally got away from me, and all of a sudden I realized, ooh, the parade, it's over. Feel bad about that one. I heard good reports about it. I did get a chance Saturday morning to talk to the people who were out there, city staff, firefighters and police officers and vendors, but there weren't a lot of people out there. So I think the consensus was that maybe we somehow or other there was a glitch in the advertising. I don't know what happened there, but Saturday morning there wasn't much going on. Sunday morning I was out of town, and so I didn't get to attend that. But my wife attended the pageant, and it sounded like she had a wonderful time, really enjoyed herself, and so. You know, kudos to everybody involved in that. Even if not a lot of the members of the public attend, it's a lot of work to put those things on and get that all organized. So that was a lot of hard work. We're going to try next year to get the place packed out. I know everybody's got a lot of things that they have going on in their lives, but this is an important event for us in Sunnyside too, to celebrate just being people from Sunnyside and enjoying each other's company. So that would be good. Yeah, and that's all I've got. So next item is upcoming council meetings, and that is the purview of our clerk.
So the budget workshop date is pending. October 6th would be the study session. You'll have your public hearing on the ad valorem, America's 250th anniversary of independence, the fee schedule, LGIP allocations, a presentation on wastewater utility, review October proclamation requests. We've received about 2. Signature events, security, council code of conduct, and I believe this one was added. Chief, do you need this one to be in action actually, or is it just discussion on the state mobilization compensation resolution?
Action is preferable, but if council would prefer just to discuss, then that's up to you guys.
Okay.
Action on what?
And I think this is pretty big, so I'll talk with the interim city manager tomorrow and see if there are things we can move around. So for now, this is what we have.
So we've got a public hearing for October 6th?
Yes, it has to be the first Monday of October.
Okay.
It's our budget calendar.
Good. All right. That's a pretty full agenda, but if there's something that needs to be added to that, please, at least 1 week before the meeting, please talk to the manager to get that added to the agenda. Mr. City Manager reports.
Thank you. I've got a couple things here. So, you know, here, in July, we installed the four-way stop sign at 9th and Edison. We've had some enforcement issues here. We've had a couple accidents here. And of course, when it happens, you know, people run up to the window and they want to see what's going on, and some of them are pretty spectacular. So I've asked for our streets department to purchase some 4 new stop signs. And those stop signs are LED, they're solar powered. And the stop sign's in an octagon, and so they're lit up around the edges, and so they're always flashing.
Yeah.
And so try to get folks' attention, try to get them to stop. When I was a county engineer at Stoughton County, we put those up all over the place and the public absolutely loved them.
Yeah.
It really lets you know, I mean, even the problems we have with the one at Edison and 241, you know, the red bulb, a lot of people think that's just a stoplight and the light goes off, and we've had accidents there, the light goes off and on and people, I can go through it, right? Well, I don't think those are effective as those LEDs.
Right.
And so it does come with a price tag. I believe it's close to $7,400 that we'll be looking to pay for those, but
7,400.
$7,400 for total. I think they're about $1,800 a piece.
That's the one accident time spent by.
Well, you take staff time and then of course the cost of the public, I think it's worth it. The other thing we have going on is we met last week or 2 weeks ago. It was last week. With WCIA, they brought us up to speed on our insurance, where we're at on that for the year and how we're doing. And they also brought up a couple items there that we do have insurance that I wasn't aware of on our industrial equipment, such as our wastewater treatment plant, motors, pumps, things of this nature. And some of the work that we've done, and there was actually on the agenda today on the check register. If you still have that in front of you, it's transaction 12450. It's for $197,112. That was on the wastewater treatment plant digester heating system. That may be eligible for reimbursement through, or a portion of it. There is a deductible that goes with this. But we are looking at the other upgrades that have been brought to council by the past administration that may need to take place at the treatment plant, you know, the methane gas piping and things of that nature. So we'll be looking at that too, to see if that's reimbursable. The HVAC system that we talked about at the ops building, that's out. That may be as well as reimbursable. So we're looking at that to recapture some money if it's available to us. If it's not available to us, we will have our eyes going forward that anytime something happens on that system, at the treatment plant or in our other, our water wells and things of this nature, because those are pumps and motors, we'll make sure staff knows that, hey, let's turn those into insurance first, and see what kind of reimbursement we can get back. The last thing is the AWAS system, which is the weather observation system at the airport that has not been working for several months. I know I watch it, you know, I have an app on my phone, I can look at it. I was learning to see how big that wind gust was, you know, but it has been working. I've had Mr. Mejia look into that, and he's contacted the folks. There's an upgrade on that system that's due.
Yes, so on the AWAS, obviously, moving forward, I've taken Mr. Interim City Manager Bridges, the cost of it, and I am working with I don't want to mess it up, FAA, the airport inspector who's come around, and he should be down here tomorrow to take a look at it and see how we can proceed forward with it, so we can get it back into working properly. So I am working on that.
Did you check to see if we have insurance on it?
I did. And unfortunately, our deductible is a little bit higher than what the repairs are.
Yeah.
So, but I did look into that when I had my meeting with the WICA. So, yeah, I had a lot of questions for her, and we did have a good hour-long meeting about what we can and put in and what we can't. So as Mr. Bridges has stated, I'm working towards that. There are some invoices that I'm trying to get back so we can turn them in and see if we can proceed with getting those taken care of by the insurance.
Very good, very good.
Hector, you might as well just go ahead and proceed since you got the floor.
Can I ask a question real quick? Do we still have the airport committee? Is it gone?
No, we are still meeting. Ms. Gonzalez has been invoicing, so we can get that taken care of. Mr. Jaffetti, sorry, has been helping us out. So we would like to move the AWAS to the airport, but talking to the inspector, there's a lot of red tape that needs to go along with it. So for right now, we are going to leave it at the well, and then moving forward, like we had discussed together, come next year, that's a process we are hopefully be able to move forward and get those red tapes to be untangled and us be able to move forward to get it there. So other than that, like I said, Mr. Bridges stated, I'm working diligently through the WICA, trying to get those invoices in so we can get reimbursed for all that. Working hard with Mr. Taylor, trying to get the ordinance. I did finish the fees, and I have I sent it out to the leadership, and I sent it out to the Public Works Committee, and I have sent it to Ms. Hofstetter, will be taking it to the Finance Committee, and we can move forward. There was a lot on there, a lot of hours, and a lot of stuff that was missed. So yes, I was very happy to accomplish that. And moving forward with our well, we are waiting on one electrical part to get the motor running in our well so we can get some samples taken and from the bottom of the well, obviously, so we can make sure that once we get everything tested, we can move forward and put it out into our distribution and up our ERUs until we are able to move forward with the new well.
That would be well 10.
Yes, that is well 10. So that's all I got. I apologize. I wish I had more for you.
Are you kidding? That's a lot. Thanks. Good
All right.
job.
So, Chief Lemon. Mayor and council, I've just got a couple of quick things. A lot of this stuff's in my weekly report, but October 30th is our 14th annual trunk or treat in the downtown area. We did get the flock trailer that you approved the purchase of. We deployed it, and about 4 days later, it quit working.
Oh.
So we got a hold of Flock, told them we had an issue. We brought it back here to the PD, so it wasn't out and about where it wasn't being recorded. And they've yet to come. It's been almost a month. So
Wow.
after 3 or 4 different emails and a couple of phone calls, I finally I was a little upset last week. So they got an email with some stuff in bold red and exclamation points and such. And they're giving us a credit on our next bill. So whether we get the trailer, 1 month's worth of credit. So whether we renew the trailer or on our regular contract with the other cameras around the city, we'll have a $2,000 credit with them. And they're the problem with the trailers is because they're electrical, Washington State requires an L&I certified electrician to do any electrical work on any of the flock cameras. So that's different than apparently any other state. So they're trying to get a local certified electrician to come out and do the work on it. Something in the trailer, I think they thought we were on the west side. Something on the trailer overheated when it was real hot. And so that's what happened there. I just want to go over some stats real quick. So this is year to date, and we're comparing 24 to 25. On the sheet that you guys get, it also includes 20, 21, 22, 23, so you can see trends, but it's only comparing 24 to 25. So aggravated assaults are down 33%. Burglary, breaking and entering is down 44%. Motor vehicle thefts from last year is down 36%. Murder and non-negligent homicide is the same as it was last year at this point. Robberies are down 22%. Simple assaults are up 12 from 107 to 120. Motor vehicle, theft from a motor vehicle is down 72%. Theft of motor vehicle parts or accessories is up 33%, but that's from 3 to 4, so it's not it's
Yeah.
one additional. And then weapons law violations is, it's only off by 1, but it's down 3%. So just wanted to bring that up. So if anybody in the public wanted to hear it. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Taylor.
I don't have a whole lot since I left all my data in the office. I will get emailed as well as the year-to-date stuff on OpenGov. Like I said on Friday, I was gonna do the year-to-date tomorrow, so I'll get it to you.
Real quick, the email we got from Councilmember Fausto here earlier today about folks coming into the counter, getting a kiosk in there, so when they do come in for a permit, you know, and maybe they don't have a computer at home, they can't afford it, whatever they have, we actually have a spot for them. Are we gonna look into that?
Yeah, well, we're more than willing to help them get through the process. I know we talked about a kiosk at one time, but there was some issue with the citizens logging in on our server system. Maybe Jafet can help with that we couldn't let the public just use a computer at the front desk. So.
Okay.
But we are having the door open. Obviously, we do have somebody up front that is able and is Spanish speaking that will be able to navigate through OpenGov with them. That way to get the proper documents and make sure everybody's on the right page on how we can move forward, obviously with the vendors. If you would obviously, Mr. Saburado, I believe is the one, I can't remember off the top of my head. But yes, if he was willing to give me a call again, we can have him come in and we can make sure that he gets the proper documents and everything that we are to move forward. So.
And also with that, I am trying to get those updated English, Spanish on the questions.
Thank you.
It just takes a long time, you know, kind of like I did the fireworks permit. It just takes a while to get those. So once we get this new mobile vendor ordinance, I'm gonna have to redo the whole process in OpenGov. So that one will definitely get updated.
Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you. And just for context, thank you for bringing that up. I was in communication with Jim and Hector and Corey. There was a vendor that approached me and was asking where they can go to get some of their questions answered around being in compliance with the permitting process to be able to sell within the city. He is monolingual speaker, Spanish speaking only. I did ask if they had access to technology. The answer is no, which is probably the case for many of the local pop-up vendors around the city who we are trying to help get in compliance. So my email to you all was, how do we navigate this to make sure that the process is I guess easy to navigate, because even me with OpenGov has been a little tedious, and I know for some other community members as well, but I know we're always trying to process improve. So I thought I'd reach out and.
Like Corey stated, you know, we're working on to get that improved. Obviously, everything that can always improve. And we are working together to make sure it's bilingual. But at the time right now, my staff and our staff and I are willing to help out. They can stop by anytime, and we are willing to help them out and get all that information in there. So moving forward, you know, everybody's on the right trail.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. Chief Hobart.
So I submitted my weekly report a little later than normal this morning. Got a little busy with emergency, so I apologize for the delay in getting the report out. But couple different little stats here. Year-to-date call volume is 3,112 calls as of this morning. The daily average of about 12. Puts us on track for about 4,300 calls this year. Last week, 2 of which were fires. One was hazmat related, 58 EMS, 11 EMS no transports, 7 motor vehicle accidents, 3 service calls, 9 good intent calls, and 1 false alarm. We've had a total of 132 and a half hours of training in the last 7 days, which brings our yearly total to 2,513. We did participate in the Patriot Day ceremony at Harrison Middle School. Done the last couple of years, and we're always very honored to be invited back. So we had the truck up there with the flag, and I'm not gonna lie, it looked pretty cool. So,
Really cool.
and then we also attended at Harrison Middle School, the Hispanic Heritage Kickoff event on the 18th. So we were able to go there and be present and be supportive. And again, we've done it last few years. It's been very enjoyable. So that's all I have. Chief Lehman did forget to mention that he offered that until the stop signs get repaired, he's willing to go out and work the intersections.
Okay, that's what
I just wanted,
He didn't miss
I've
it
got
all.
that email.
okay, perfect. But that's all I have and stand for any questions.
We'll give him a paddle. Jafet.
So I don't have much exciting to report, but I did want to follow up on that bill that we got it's for maintenance for our network equipment across the city. It is quite a bit. It was 18,700, and I gave them a call and haggled them down a little bit, and we were able to bring it down to 14,500, something like that. But it is something important that we have. It's to get support on pieces of equipment that give us the connection for everywhere across the city. If you have one of those go down, say for example, at City Hall where everything comes back, you could lose the entire city. So the support we're getting with that is a 4-hour hardware replacement, which means if they identify that there is an issue with the hardware, they'll have something shipped within 4 hours, which would be pretty important to get us going if it came to it. So it's been approved for payment, but we haven't received the actual invoice. Once we get the actual invoice, I'll bring you all the numbers and so you can see it. It's stuff that should be included in our regular budget every year to make sure that all that equipment. But it is my first go around with all this budget, so I'm hoping in the future I can have you that beforehand.
Thanks, sir. Ms. Hart.
I just wanted to ask, I think you mentioned it to me not too long ago, that are you having better success with getting the type of programs to people, internet programs that for each department? I think you mentioned something about people knowing what they want or not knowing what they want and how to help them with the different programs.
With technology, it's always important that the department involved really knows what they need. In a lot of situations, not how to accomplish it, but at least to know what's possible. And I think specifically with Monica, she's used a lot of these systems in other places, and she knows what we can do. And she's actually pushed quite a bit for us to look into stuff that could help us quite a bit. From this has been brought up before, but getting our email out to a cloud service so that we're not uncommunicated if we, lose internet access.
Mhm.
We did add a backup internet service, so it'd be a little less likely, but something in the cloud would still be a little more resilient.
Can I follow up on that? So the follow-up, I think I saw on the in the invoices and payments and stuff, there was a bill for Ziply, or is that?
Ziply, that is our
that our
backup
backup now?
internet service.
So, and you're also talking about then the possibility of using more, was it cloud?
Our email specifically is
Yeah.
to where it's not reliant on our internet service here at the city. As long as you have a device with internet, you
With
should
internet.
have access to internet.
So just on that same note, so as far as public records request, does that coincide? Do those two help each other?
A lot of it, a lot of these systems rely on each other. We have, for public records requests, we have a system that we were actually talking about earlier today, which is an archiver that keeps a copy of every email that goes in or out of the city. That's one system. The email itself is another system. And then we have even a third that deals with this. I think Jackie uses it, and she did most of the work to set it up, or actually all the work. And it's a portal to keep track and manage all records requests. So they all tie together, and you want to look for systems that work well with other systems.
Okay, thank you. We'd mentioned that, you'd mentioned that to me not too long ago, and I just wanted to follow up on that. I wasn't sure I got it all, so thank you.
I can. We've just been working on records requests in the last 4 months. We've received 159 requests just on our portal alone. So I've processed most of them and closed most of them. And just working with the marketing team, they did work with, we did work with them to advertise Sunshine Days, but also the organization also should have advertised as well for that event. We did a lot of graphics, and now we're moving on to the Lighted Farm Implement Parade. We've created a logo, and so graphics will be pushed out soon as we meet with the group.
Cool beans.
All right, well, thank you, everyone. Anybody ever says our city staff isn't doing enough, we can definitely say that that is not true. You guys are hardworking, and I'm always impressed with your reports and all the things that you're bringing forward. Always impressed and surprised at stuff that I would never have thought of that you guys are doing. So I'm pleased. So thank you. All right, so the executive session has been postponed. Council members, please look forward to a special meeting before the end of September. And I believe the deputy mayor has already expressed that he is not available on Friday, the 26th. So that probably won't be the day that we do this meeting. I'm guessing it'll probably be Monday, the 29th. Hopefully we're all able to be here, and we can have that special executive session that deals with the interim manager's contract moving forward, because we need to get that done before the end of this month, because that contract that we approved to extend expires on the 30th. So be looking for that, and also get information back to Jackie on when we're available for a special budget retreat session. So look forward to getting that information out to everybody so that we all know what's going on. And there being no further business to come before council, and without objection, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night.